The massive alien ships appeared without warning, blocking out the sun over major cities worldwide. Commander J. Park stood on the global defense platform, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays showing the approaching Zorn fleet. The metallic vessels were unlike anything humans had ever seen. Sleek, impossibly large, and radiating an ominous technological superiority that made most military experts believe resistance was futile. Beside him, Lieutenant Hee Kim remained unnervingly calm, her fingers dancing across communication panels. The first transmission from the alien command came through, a cold, calculated demand for immediate planetary surrender. "Attention, Earth inhabitants," the alien voice resonated with a mechanical precision. "Your technological capabilities are inferior. Resistance is mathematically impossible. Surrender is your only logical option." J. Park's response was instantaneous. "Negative," he said, his voice steady and clear. "We do not surrender." The alien commanders were stunned. No species in the recorded galactic history had ever responded so directly, so definitively to their standard conquest protocol. Their databanks showed countless civilizations that had capitulated within moments of their arrival. Across different continents, military installations and civilian communication networks were already mobilizing. In Tokyo, defense systems powered up. In New Delhi, emergency protocols activated. In São Paulo, underground resistance networks began coordinating their initial strategies. The Zorn fleet represented technological might beyond human comprehension. Their weapons could theoretically obliterate entire planetary regions with a single focused energy burst. Their defensive shields could repel conventional missiles as if they were harmless raindrops. Their computing systems could calculate battle strategies in nanoseconds, but they had never encountered humans before. Lieutenant Hee Kim noticed something peculiar in the alien communication patterns. Their entire invasion strategy seemed predicated on an immediate, unquestioning surrender. They had no contingency for actual resistance. "Commander," she said quietly, "they're not prepared for a fight. They're expecting submission." J. Park allowed himself a slight smile. Humans had spent centuries fighting each other, developing complex warfare strategies, adapting to impossible circumstances. Every war, every conflict had prepared them for this moment. The first wave of alien dropships began descending. Their design was perfect, aerodynamic, silent, technologically advanced. They would have terrified any other civilization, but not humans. Military bases around the world were already tracking the incoming vessels. Experimental weapon systems, developed in secret research facilities, were being activated. Satellite networks realigned. Communication channels encrypted and secured. In the control room, a sense of grim determination replaced any hint of fear. This was humanity's first true test against an extraterrestrial threat. And they were ready. The alien commander's voice came through again, this time with a hint of what might have been confusion. "Final warning: surrender or face complete annihilation." J. Park's response was broadcast globally and directly to the alien fleet. "We do not understand the concept of surrender." Those words would later be remembered as the moment humanity announced its arrival on the galactic stage. As the first alien dropships entered Earth's atmosphere, something became immediately clear. This was not going to be a simple invasion. This was going to be a war that would redefine everything the Zorn knew about resistance, about survival, about the unexpected capabilities of a species they had dramatically underestimated. The ships descended, military systems powered up, and humanity waited not with fear but with a cold, calculated readiness that would soon shock the entire universe. No one knew exactly what would happen next, but everyone understood one thing. This was humanity's moment, and they were not going to waste it. The invasion of Earth had begun, but the real story was just starting to unfold. The first weeks of the invasion revealed something the Zorn never expected. Humans were masters of unexpected adaptation. Wu Choi, a young engineer who had been working on agricultural technology, became the unexpected hero of humanity's resistance. When alien ships began targeting military installations, Wu realized something critical. The farming equipment he had been developing could be transformed into powerful defensive tools. Massive agricultural drones, originally designed to plant and harvest crops, were quickly modified into reconnaissance and combat platforms. GPS systems meant for tracking livestock became complex communication networks. Irrigation control systems were repurposed to manage battlefield logistics. Tractors with hydraulic systems transformed into makeshift mobile platforms for rapid deployment of defense units. The Zorn watched in disbelief as humans turned everyday technology into weapons of war. Their advanced scanning systems couldn't predict human responses because there was no logical pattern to follow. Where alien tactics relied on precise, predictable strategies, humans operated on creativity and spontaneity. In rural areas, farmers became the most unexpected soldiers. They knew their terrain better than any military strategist. Local knowledge became a weapon more powerful than any advanced alien technology. Old tractors became mobile platforms. Irrigation systems became complex communication networks. Underground, research facilities which had been developing experimental technologies suddenly became critical defense centers. Scientists who had been working on seemingly useless research found their work unexpectedly valuable. A team developing advanced cooling systems for computer processors discovered their technology could disrupt alien energy weapons. Communication became humanity's strongest weapon. The Internet, which the Zorn initially thought was a simple information network, transformed into a complex battlefield. Hackers began targeting alien communication systems. Information spread faster than the invaders could track or control. Every city became a potential battleground. In Tokyo, underground networks coordinated resistance using public transportation systems. In São Paulo, old industrial machinery was quickly modified into defensive platforms. In New Delhi, communication networks became so complex that alien tracking systems became overwhelmed. Wu Choi's team discovered that the aliens' advanced technology had a critical weakness. They relied too heavily on predictive algorithms. By introducing randomness and chaos into their defensive strategies, humans could effectively blind the alien tracking systems. Military units began adopting strategies that seemed completely illogical to the Zorn. They would deliberately create false communication signals. They would use old technology alongside new systems. They would change strategies mid-battle without any apparent reason. The global response was not just military. Every sector of human society became part of the resistance. Universities redirected research. Technology companies shared critical innovations. Even entertainment industries contributed by developing communication strategies and psychological warfare techniques. Satellite networks, originally designed for communication and navigation, became complex tracking and disruption platforms. Old communication satellites were reprogrammed to send false signals. Navigation systems were modified to create confusion in alien tracking mechanisms. The Zorn command became increasingly frustrated. Their advanced predictive systems, which had conquered hundreds of civilizations, were failing against human unpredictability. Every time they thought they understood human strategy, the humans would change their approach completely. Medical research facilities discovered that human immune system research could be applied to developing technological defense mechanisms. The same principles that helped humans fight biological threats could be used to create technological antibodies against alien systems. Wu Choi understood something fundamental. Human strength was not in advanced technology, but in the ability to adapt, to think differently, to see opportunities where others saw limitations. As weeks turned into months, the invasion transformed. What the Zorn had expected to be a simple planetary conquest became a complex, unpredictable conflict. Humanity was not just fighting. They were rewriting the rules of warfare. The global resistance was not just a military operation. It was a collective human effort that demonstrated something the Zorn could never understand. When faced with an impossible challenge, humans did not just resist. They reimagined the entire concept of resistance. Yuna Kim sat in the Psychological Warfare Command Center. analyzing data streams that painted a unique picture of human resistance. The Zorn had expected a quick surrender, but instead they encountered a species that seemed to thrive on challenge. The alien commanders couldn't comprehend what they were seeing. Human populations didn't break under pressure. They became more determined. Every attack seemed to strengthen their resolve rather than weaken it. Cities bombed would rebuild within days. Communities destroyed would reorganize within hours. Psychological profiles revealed something extraordinary. Where most species would collapse after losing critical infrastructure, humans viewed destruction as an opportunity for innovation. Schools converted into defense centers. Hospitals became communication hubs. Shopping malls transformed into emergency supply distribution points. Children played games simulating resistance scenarios. Elderly people shared survival strategies. Every demographic became part of a collective resistance movement that defied traditional military understanding. The Zorn's advanced psychological analysis systems completely failed to predict human behavior. Global communication networks became a weapon more powerful than any physical weapon. Memes, videos, and shared experiences created a unified psychological resistance that spread faster than the alien invasion. People weren't just fighting, they were telling a story of survival that inspired millions. In Tokyo, a group of high school students hacked alien communication systems, broadcasting messages of resistance. In New Delhi, community centers became training grounds for local defense strategies. In São Paulo, street artists created propaganda that boosted collective morale. The Zorn discovered something terrifying. Humans didn't just fight as individual soldiers, but as a connected, passionate collective. Their emotional bonds were a form of psychological armor that no technological weapon could penetrate. Yoona Kim's research revealed that human resilience came from something unique, a cultural memory of overcoming impossible challenges. Stories of survival from world wars, natural disasters, and complex historical struggles had created a collective psychological toolkit that no alien could understand. Military strategies became more than just tactical movements. They were psychological statements. Every resistance action was designed not just to fight, but to send a message: humans would never surrender. The aliens began to realize that traditional conquest strategies were useless. Bombing a city didn't break human spirit, it made them more united. Destroying infrastructure didn't create fear, it triggered innovation. Killing leaders didn't create confusion, it inspired more people to rise up. Communication intercepts showed something remarkable. When alien systems expected panic, humans responded with humor, creativity, and an unbreakable sense of hope. Jokes about the invasion spread faster than fear. Artistic expressions of resistance became more powerful than traditional propaganda. Global leaders understood that this was more than a military conflict. It was a battle of psychological narratives. Every communication, every broadcast, every shared experience became a weapon more powerful than any physical technology. Schools continued teaching. Businesses found ways to operate. Healthcare systems adapted. Transportation networks reorganized. The human capacity to maintain normalcy under extreme pressure became their most powerful resistance strategy. The Intergalactic Council watched in disbelief. Their data suggested that human populations should have collapsed weeks ago. Instead, they were becoming stronger, more united, more innovative with each passing day. Yoona Kim's final report was simple but profound. Humans do not have a surrender protocol. Their psychological resilience is not a strategy. It's a fundamental aspect of their species' survival mechanism. As months passed, the Zorn realized they weren't just fighting a military conflict. They were encountering a species that transformed every challenge into an opportunity for growth, every destruction into a chance for rebuilding, every threat into a moment of collective strength. The psychological warfare had a clear winner. And it wasn't the technologically advanced alien civilization. Sung Min stood in the underground research facility, surrounded by holographic displays and experimental equipment. His team had been working on something that could change everything, a breakthrough that would transform how humans approached technological warfare. The facility, hidden beneath an old agricultural research center, buzzed with energy. What had Started as medical nanotechnology research, was now the key to humanity's survival. Sung Min's original work on cellular repair mechanisms was about to become something entirely different. Outside, the alien invasion continued. But inside this facility, something extraordinary was happening. The team had discovered that the same microscopic technologies designed to heal human bodies could be repurposed as defensive weapon systems. Nanobots originally created to repair damaged human tissue could now disrupt alien technological systems. The precision that once mended human cells could now infiltrate and disable complex alien machinery. It was an approach no one had ever considered, using medical technology as a weapon of war. Communication networks became living, breathing organisms. Old satellite systems were modified to create complex, unpredictable signal patterns. Where the Zorn expected straight lines of communication, humans created intricate webs of information that constantly shifted and changed. In Tokyo, a group of young engineers discovered how to hack alien drone systems using modified smartphone technology. In New Delhi, computer programmers created adaptive algorithms that could predict and counter alien technological attacks. In Sao Paulo, renewable energy researchers found ways to disrupt alien power systems. The Zorn's technological superiority began to crumble. Their advanced scanning systems, designed to predict and counter any technological threat, couldn't keep up with human innovation. Every time they thought they understood human technology, something new would emerge. Sung Min's team realized that human technological strength wasn't about having the most advanced single system. It was about adaptability, about creating networks of technology that could change and respond in milliseconds. Where alien systems were rigid and predictable, human systems were fluid and creative. Agricultural drones became sophisticated reconnaissance platforms. Medical scanning equipment transformed into advanced detection systems. Communication networks became complex defensive mechanisms. Nothing was just one thing anymore. Everything was a potential weapon, a potential solution. The research facility became a symbol of human innovation. Old technologies were combined with new approaches. A cooling system for computer processors became a method for disrupting alien energy weapons. A medical imaging device became a complex scanning platform. Global universities redirected their research. What was once pure scientific exploration became critical defense development. Quantum computing experts worked alongside biologists. Material science researchers collaborated with communication specialists. The boundaries between disciplines disappeared. Sung Min understood something fundamental. Human technological strength came from their ability to see connections where others saw only separation. A medical technology could become a weapon. A communication system could become a defensive platform. Nothing was limited to its original purpose. The Zorn watched in increasing frustration. Their advanced technological systems, which had conquered hundreds of civilizations, were becoming increasingly ineffective. Human technology wasn't just fighting back, it was evolving in real time. Satellite networks became living systems that could change and adapt. Communication platforms transformed into complex defensive mechanisms. Every piece of technology became part of a larger, more complex network that the aliens couldn't understand or predict. Manufacturing facilities that once produced consumer goods were now creating sophisticated defense systems. 3D printing technology allowed for rapid production of specialized equipment. Supply chains became adaptive networks that could quickly respond to changing battlefield conditions. Renewable energy research provided unexpected technological advantages. Solar panels became complex communication platforms. Wind turbine technologies were modified to create advanced defensive systems. Nothing was limited to its original purpose. As months passed, the technological landscape changed completely. What had started as a human disadvantage became their greatest strength. The Zorn's technological superiority crumbled against human creativity, adaptability, and unexpected innovation. Sung Min looked at the holographic displays, watching as another experimental system came online. The technological revolution wasn't just about creating better weapons. The Intergalactic Council chamber fell silent as the final reports came in. Centuries of established galactic order were about to change forever. Humans had done the impossible. They had not just survived an invasion, but transformed the entire concept of interstellar conflict. Commander J. Park stood before the holographic representation of galactic representatives, his posture calm and unwavering. Behind him, a montage of human resistance played, cities rebuilding, technologies adapting, people united in ways no alien civilization could comprehend. The Zorn delegation looked defeated. Their most advanced fleet, which had conquered hundreds of civilizations, had been systematically dismantled by a species they had considered primitive. Their technological superiority meant nothing against human creativity and resilience. Representatives from various galactic species watched in disbelief. Humans had rewritten the fundamental rules of warfare, survival, and technological adaptation. Where other civilizations would have collapsed, humans had transformed every challenge into an opportunity. The Council's primary diplomat, a crystalline being from a highly advanced star system, spoke first. "Explain your survival strategy," the being requested, its translucent form flickering with genuine curiosity. J. Park's response was simple. "We don't have a survival strategy, we have human spirit." Global communication networks broadcasted the moment worldwide. Every human watched as their species was being recognized not as a conquered civilization, but as a new galactic power. Schools, universities, and community centers erupted in celebration. The technological innovations developed during the conflict were already changing galactic understanding. Human adaptability had created solutions to problems that had existed for millennia. Medical technologies, communication systems, and defensive strategies were being studied by every advanced civilization. Alien researchers discovered something extraordinary. Human technology wasn't just about advanced systems, it was about continuous adaptation. Their quantum computing developments, originally created to resist alien attacks, could solve complex mathematical problems that had stumped galactic scientists for generations. The Zorn's retreat became legendary. Their massive battleships, once symbols of technological superiority, now represented a humiliating defeat. Every alien civilization understood a new reality. Humans were not just survivors, but innovators. Cultural exchange programs were immediately proposed. Alien civilizations wanted to understand the species that had completely transformed galactic conflict dynamics. How could a civilization with relatively primitive technology resist such an advanced invasion? Universities across human-controlled territories began receiving research proposals from dozens of alien civilizations. Human educational systems, which had produced the innovative teams that resisted the invasion, became objects of intense study. Commander J. Park's final statement to the Intergalactic Council became a historic moment. "We are not just defending our planet," he said. "We are demonstrating what's possible when a species refuses to accept limitations." The global celebration was unlike anything in human history. Cities that had been destroyed were being rebuilt with new technologies. Communities that had been separated were now more united than ever. The invasion had transformed human society in ways no one could have predicted. Technological research centers that had been hidden became global innovation hubs. The strategies developed during the invasion were now being applied to solve global challenges: climate change, energy production, medical research. The resistance had created a new approach to human progress. Alien diplomatic missions began arriving on Earth. They wanted to understand the species that had changed everything. Human negotiators, tempered by the resistance, approached these meetings with a confidence that surprised even themselves. The Intergalactic Council's final resolution was clear. Humans were no longer a developing civilization. They were a recognized galactic power, with all the rights and responsibilities that designation carried. As the first alien diplomatic shuttle landed on Earth, something was different. This was not a moment of surrender or defeat. This was a moment of recognition. Humanity had not just survived, they had redefined what survival meant.